If you haven't already heard, Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, you're listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized, a podcast that focuses on helping you create space to attract more money, love, and happiness in your life. I am your host, Janet M. Taylor, and I want to say hello if you're a regular listener, and welcome if you're listening for the very first time. I hope you are having a great week. And of course, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, please leave a review. And also, I'm excited to share that you can support this podcast by clicking the Buy Me a Coffee link in the show page, and I will give you a shout out on the air. Well, in this episode, I get excited because I have a fellow professional organizer, Robyn Reynolds, Organize2Harmonize, and we'll be sharing some ways on how you can reclaim your home from clutter. I will also be sharing my product, app, repurpose, and book suggestion for the week. And my question for you this week is, what area would you like to reclaim clutter in your home, in your life, in your office? Please share on social media. You probably have heard me say this over 1,000 times, but 80% of the stuff we keep, we never reference again. And we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. Which is why I invited Robyn Reynolds, who was bound to be a professional organizer, eventually furthering her status by becoming a certified professional organizer. Organizing was something she had always done, but for fun. While reading a magazine, she found out about the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals. Beyond her natural ability for organization and her entrepreneurial spirits, the key to Robyn's continued success has been her steadfast needs to give back. Not only does she have a long time involvement with NAPO, she is the current president of the Board of Certifying Professional Organizers. She is also a Golden Circle member, a passport member of NAPO Los Angeles chapter, and was co-chair of the 2012 Organizing Awards. She is also a volunteer with her community. She has been involved with numerous local chapters such as Kids Saves, Dress for Success, Souls for Souls, One Warm Coat, to name a few. Robyn has been quoted in Huffington Post, Yahoo, Women's Day magazine, and numerous other publications. And she has worked on the television show Hoarders. Not to mention, she is a published author of A to Zen, to Inspire Organization. As an entrepreneur, Robyn has grown Organize2Harmonize from one woman taking on residential projects to managing multiple projects with teens simultaneously across the greater Los Angeles area. She has earned the respect of celebrities as a true professional and continues to build and expand her business. So get your pen, your paper, your tablet out, and enjoy my conversation with Robyn Reynolds. Well, listeners, I'm excited because you know how excited I get when I have a fellow professional organizer on as a guest, Miss Robyn Reynolds. And we're going to talk about really reclaiming your space, particularly with getting rid of all of that clutter. So, Robyn, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So before we get into all the details, I want to know what made you decide to become a professional organizer.
You know, I guess I'm one of those people that is an accidental entrepreneur because it's nothing that I ever thought I would do. It was never on the radar. And being organized is just something that comes second nature to me. So it's something that I've always done. I didn't know that organizing was a thing and that you could actually make a living at it. And one day I was reading a magazine and I saw them talking about the National Association of Professional Organizers, NAPO. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. I had no idea how to start a business. So I went ahead and joined, didn't do anything with it for a year. My membership lapsed, and then I got myself together and rejoined. And now here I am 14 years later.
Well, congratulations, and especially for your perseverance. And also, I was like you, I didn't know anything about it. And then I just kind of saw an article. I'm like, oh, this is what people actually do. So,
Exactly.
so those little like articles and notices truly, truly help both of us out. So we're talking about reclaiming our home, particularly from the clutter. What are, I guess, some of the clutter areas? But also, Robyn, what are some of the reasons why we just kind of hold on to stuff?
There's so many different reasons why people are in these situations where they have too much stuff. I always say we're an abundant society and we get way more than we get rid of. So, don't let something be free because we need 10 more than we actually needed to begin with. We can't just have one, we now need 10. So it's just, part of human nature to just collect and gather stuff. There's also situational instances where, say, someone has passed away and they're not ready to let go of their stuff. So they bring it all to their house, but you already have a house full of furniture. So now that house of furniture sits in the garage, or you try and place it throughout your house. There are situations where people, get divorced and they just don't, they can't get out of their head that there's now two different lives. So they hold on to things. Or a kid goes to school and they just want to hold on to everything. Or even when they're born and they want to hold on to every single thing that they have and do and whatever. So there's so many reasons why people have clutter and why it accumulates so.
And do you find that there are particular areas where the clutter seems to be more so than others, or is it just kind of overall in the home?
It depends on the person, really, because if someone is chronically disorganized, there's going to be clutter everywhere in every single room. It doesn't matter whether it's the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, the living room, it's all over the place. If someone just likes to, let's say, shop too much, then it's going to be more so in the bedroom because there may not be enough closet space for all the things that they're bringing in. If someone has a house, it might be the garage because that becomes the catch-all. It's like when you don't know where to put it, oh, put it in the garage. So it can be a number of places.
So, do you have any solutions you can share for people who are like ready to reclaim their home and reclaim that space and get rid of the clutter?
Well, the thing is, Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's not going to happen in a day. But what you need to do, instead of saying, oh, let me get this here and that there and that there, start in one room. Start in one room, one corner, one area, whatever it is, so that you can actually see the progress. Because if you're just going around picking up, oh, the glasses from each room, you're not going to feel the progress or see it, and then you're going to get defeated. But if you actually start in one room, regardless of what that room is, and start in one corner, one area, and you tackle that, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, and then the next day tackle it some more, then you start seeing the progress, and you might even motivate yourself to do even more than that 15 minutes, because most people don't like doing it. So that's why it doesn't get done. But, we're those rare people that actually like doing it. I don't ever feel like I'm going to work, you know, because it is fun for me. I enjoy it.
And you're right, because with us, we target an area. We tackle it until it's done. But people like, oh, I'm going to do a little bit over here. I'm going to do a little bit over there. And it never gets done. And like Robyn just said, you really need to just like focus on one area. And who knows, you may get inspired once you start seeing some shelf space or some floor space to continue doing what you need to do. So,
exactly.
And like she said, 15 minutes you can kind of accomplish a lot in 15 minutes. And then you may
Right.
want to do 30 and so forth and so forth. So how do you stay organized, Robyn? Do you have any tips or strategies that, help you that maybe the listeners will find helpful for themselves?
Well, the one thing that I find with people that, makes a difference between, or is the difference between them and me, is that people take things out and they don't put it away. Everything has a home, so it's got to go back in its home. So if you take out those scissors, you can't just leave them, wherever you were using them. You now have to put them back. So I put things back, and everything where it belongs is organized, whether it's in a bin, putting things in some sort of container. I say containerize to organize, because that way it keeps it all together. And in the cabinet itself, it's not like flying all over the place. So if you just put things back when you use them, that's half the battle right there. Or hang those clothes up, or put them in the hamper at the end of the day, or put the shoes in the closet, whatever it is, put it back in its home. And in its home, it should be have some sort of container or something that's going to house it, so that it keeps it more neat than just being thrown in the cabinet or the closet.
And I shared that the other day. I said, that is one of the easiest ways to really stay organized. If you take something out, put it back. And also, of course, it makes it easier, specifically if you've got other people in the household and nobody's screaming like, "Where's the scissors? Where's this? Where's that?"
Exactly.
But you're right, Robyn. It's just like finding a place, finding a system. This is where whatever, the scissors, the screwdriver, whatever, this is where it's going to go. And then when you need it the next time, it's there. Because I tell the story of when at one point I had people over, there was a blackout. And of course, they started teasing me and saying I didn't pay my electric bill.
Right.
But then I told them, I said, okay, the person who's near the drawer, open the drawer, right there is the flashlight. And they were all in shock. And I was like, but that's how you keep things,
right. Because that's where it lives, so you know where to get it when you need it.
Yeah. And of course, we found out it was like one of those grid type situations.
Right. It was like a transformer blue.
Yes, one of those things. Yeah. But everybody was like, wow. I said, but this is why you have systems. So when you are in the dark, you can not fumbling around finding things.
Exactly.
So Robyn, this has been an enjoyable conversation. So how can listeners get in contact with you?
Well, they can go to my website, which is Organize2Harmonize, and that's the number 2. Or they can certainly email me. I'm on Instagram as well at Organize2Harmonize, again with the number 2. My email is divaorganizer1@gmail.com, and they can reach out that way. And I worked in person and virtually.
And of course, listeners, I will have a direct link to Robyn's website on the show page so you can connect with her directly. Robyn, thank you so much for your time today.
You are very welcome. Thanks again for having me.
So what was your takeaway from my conversation with Robyn? Please leave it in on social media, the link below, or you can even leave me a voice message on the podcast show page. I would love for you to share what your takeaway was. So now we're going to move and transition into Taylor's tip time, and I'm just going to share some strategies on how you can get rid of the clutter. The first thing, number 1, is get a notebook, get your tablet, start taking notes, and just kind of going from room to room, from the front door to the back door, from the attic to the basement of the areas you want to tackle. Then the next thing you want to do, number 2, is you want to prioritize on which area is the most important to tackle. Is it the front door? Is it the kitchen? Is it the bedroom? Is it the closet? Number 3, once you decide on the area, then you want to get rid of as much as you can. Because again, 80% of the stuff we keep, we never reference again. So maybe you bought some dog food and the dog just looked at it, he sniffed it a couple times, he doesn't like it. Get rid of stuff like that. Or those outfits that you no longer want to wear or need. Get rid of them, donate them. Once you have gotten rid of what you no longer need, then you organize what remains. That's number 4. And number 5 is making sure you maintain. As I've shared with you before, you can do things seasonal, you can do things yearly. Like, for example, we go through our tax records yearly. So each year you can get rid of some while you organize others seasonally, whether it's our clothes or the decorations in our homes. Just kind of go through things and get rid of things. So as an organizer, I see firsthand what happens when people don't organize their life. And of course, I want to help you. And it could be anything. Of course, I offer products to help you digitize the most important documents, but also you can organize and protect those physical documents. There's links on the show page. But maybe you just need help just better managing your time. Maybe you are overwhelmed with just how to get started on your organizing project. Please go to my contact page and schedule a free 15-minute session. Take the step necessary and start by doing something today. And click the link in the show page. Of course, I love this portion of the podcast because I get to thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for following me on social media. Thank you for your likes, your retweets, and your sharing. Please continue to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and make sure you check out the Clutter Busters board. And of course, make sure you check out my YouTube channel and subscribe as well. Well, if you're thinking of getting your life organized, don't get overwhelmed. Join me on my Facebook group, Living Life Totally Organized. It's a community of women supporting each other on their journey to living a life that is totally organized. It's free to join. And in reference to reclaiming your space and just getting rid of clutter, I actually showed within that community how I went through my medical information, because every September I have my annuals. I have to go to the eye doctor every 4 months now. I want to keep track of when I actually have to get a colonoscopy, which will be next year. And it was just a lot of stuff. And I went through my own file. Now, granted, I had a file of medical information, my insurance. I also have a lot of those documents have been uploaded into a cloud. But I went through. I had things from 2004, 2016 medical stuff, and this was just not major stuff. Years ago I had fibroids, so I was going back and forth with that. I even had, when I recently had shoulder issues. I don't need to keep that stuff. Now, there is some stuff that I wanted to keep, but I didn't have to keep everything. And it was amazing. That folder, which was very thick, and I showed it in the community, basically it was less. I got rid of at least 75% of the stuff, and I was excited about that. So those are just some things. And of course, people post questions, people post photos, people post videos, so I can help them on their journey to live an organized life. So join us. And of course, I just wanted to give you a little time to maybe push the coffee table aside, get your space by your countertop, get your groove on, because it is Toss It Tuesday time. And this Toss It Tuesday, I want you to just tackle one junk drawer in your house. One. Give it a purpose. Whether you want to keep your little stationery supplies, whether you want to keep tools because of where it's at, whether you want to, keep maybe hair products, but tackle a junk drawer. My app suggestion for this week is 10 Best Rooms Decorating. but there's 10 best room decorating apps. I can't get it out today. And basically, if you go on the apps that'll help you stay organized section on my Pinterest board, you'll be able to click that link and get to see the different types of apps that are available for decorating, because we're into the fall season and you may want to get some new looks and some new feeling for those spaces in your home. My product suggestion is going to my Amazon shop and just looking at your different storage items that are available, because sometimes people think of storage, they think the clear, the plastic, but there are so many other things that you can do. There's baskets, there's beautiful bins, there's so much. So check that out. And my repurpose suggestion for this week is get that spray paint and out and transform something. There are so many different things that we have in our homes and our lives that mean a lot to us. We're not maybe ready to just part with it. Get some spray paint. And there's so many different ideas on my Pinterest page, on the boards that, repurpose the office, just general repurpose. Maybe because of where you are, you still can repurpose stuff in your garden. So check that out. And of course, my book selection for this week is from another professional organizer, and it's Decluttering Your Home by Geraldine Thomas. Again, Decluttering Your Home by Geraldine Thomas. And of course, if you are in the market for a book and maybe an audio book, you can get a free copy and a free 30-day trial from Audible. Again, you get a free copy and a free 30-day trial from Audible. You just click the link in the show page and it will direct you so you can take advantage of that offer. My quote for this week is, letting go of physical clutter also declutters the mind and the soul. Again, letting go of physical clutter also declutters the mind and the soul. Well, I want to thank you for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your family, your friends, and on your social media network. Again, let me know you enjoy listening to this podcast by leaving a review, and you can also support the podcast by buying a cup of coffee. Visit my website at www.janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, you have a clutter-free day, but most of all, you have an organized week. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemmas. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you are listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized.